Namaste, dear soul family. Welcome back to the eSpirit World channel, your home for spiritual wisdom, astrological guidance, and divine insights that help you walk through life with clarity and strength. Today, we are diving deep into the cosmic blueprint for all our Pisces natives for the month of October 2025. Pisces, as the final sign of the Zodiac, you often carry the energy of wisdom, compassion, and intuition. Yet, you also carry the weight of cycles closing and new journeys beginning. This October, the planetary alignments indicate that you may face a month of mixed results, sometimes testing, sometimes rewarding, but always carrying hidden lessons to help you grow stronger. Let us unfold this journey step by step, as we explore how the planets will shape your experiences in career, finances, health, love, and family life during October 2025. Pisces natives, the first planetary movement we need to focus on is the transit of the Sun. Until the 17th of October, the Sun will remain in your 7th house. Unfortunately, this placement is not considered highly favorable. It may create certain challenges in your partnerships, whether personal or professional. The Sun in this house often brings ego clashes, misunderstandings, or authority struggles. You might feel that others are questioning your decisions or that you are not being valued enough. After 17th October, the Sun moves into your 8th house, where it enters a debilitated state. Again, this is not the most supportive placement. The Sun in the 8th house can sometimes stir up issues related to sudden changes, transformations, or even hidden matters coming to light. What this essentially means is that you cannot expect much support from the Sun throughout this month. This energy encourages humility, patience, and an acceptance of change. If you try to control everything, resistance will only make things harder. But if you flow with the cosmic current, you will find that these challenges eventually open the door to deeper self-awareness. Now let us talk about Mars. Until 27th October, Mars will be in your 8th house, which again is a weak placement. This can sometimes create feelings of restlessness, sudden expenses, or even conflicts that arise out of nowhere. However, after 27th October, Mars moves into a stronger position, bringing you some relief. The second half of the month, especially after this shift, allows you to channel your energy more positively. While Mars may not be your strongest ally this month, its later movement will at least reduce some of the pressures you may feel in the first 3 weeks. Mercury, the planet of communication and business, will also play an important role for you. Until 3rd October, Mercury will be in your 7th house, which is not considered favorable. Miscommunications, arguments, or misunderstandings may surface in close partnerships. But between 3rd October and 24th October, Mercury shifts to a more supportive placement, giving you clarity, smoother communication, and better results in both work and personal matters. However, after 24th October, Mercury moves again into an unfavorable zone. So, Pisces, mark this middle window of the month, 3rd October to 24th October, as your opportunity to clear misunderstandings, finalize agreements, and focus on progress. Jupiter, your ruling planet and your greatest guide, is the one to watch most closely. In the first half of October, Jupiter's results may be somewhat average, not extraordinary but not harmful either. Yet, as we move into the second half of the month, Jupiter strengthens and begins to provide more favorable outcomes. This is where the month starts to feel lighter, and doors that seemed closed in the first 2 weeks may suddenly begin to open. Jupiter's influence promises wisdom, better opportunities, and the ability to see the bigger picture of your life. It may not give instant rewards, but it will ensure that your efforts begin to bear fruit. Venus, the planet of love and harmony, also has a challenging role this month. Until 9th October, Venus will be in your 6th house, which tends to create struggles, especially in relationships and comforts. After 9th October, Venus moves into your 7th house but in a debilitated position. Normally, we celebrate Venus moving into the 7th house of relationships, but because it is debilitated here, the results are not particularly supportive. So, this month, Venus may not bring you the sweetness or harmony you desire in love or in your partnerships. Instead, it is teaching you to focus on pure intentions, respect, and dignity in your relationships. Saturn remains retrograde in your 1st house, Pisces. This placement means you may feel a heaviness, a sense of delay, or even responsibility pressing upon you. Retrograde Saturn is not very supportive for quick progress, but remember, Saturn is the great teacher. It doesn't deny results, it only delays them until you've learned patience, discipline, and persistence. If you keep walking steadily, you'll find that Saturn eventually rewards your efforts in a more permanent way. Rahu, in your 12th house in Aquarius, is placed in Jupiter's constellation. This means Rahu may not provide much help this month and could even make you feel that your plans are not moving forward as quickly as you expect. There may be expenses related to travel, spiritual matters, or even things that feel hidden from your control. Ketu, on the other hand, sits in your 6th house of Leo under the influence of Venus. Here, Ketu can bring you mixed outcomes, sometimes pushing you to resolve old disputes, other times giving you unexpected breakthroughs in health or service-related matters. Overall, Rahu and Ketu continue to create a karmic environment that demands your patience and spiritual focus. Given this planetary setup, dear Pisces, it is clear that October 2025 is not a month of easy victories. The results are mixed, sometimes leaning weaker, especially in the first half of the month. But in comparison, the second half looks brighter, with Jupiter's exalted position supporting you and Mars moving into a more favorable placement. The key is to remain calm in the first half, avoid impulsive decisions, and use the latter half to move forward with wisdom and clarity. Now let us flow into how these planetary influences may unfold in your career. The Lord of your career house will be in the 4th house during the first half of October, aspecting your 10th house of profession. While Jupiter's placement in the 4th house is not considered the strongest, it still provides some protection. This means that you are unlikely to face major setbacks in your career during the first half of the month. You may feel that things are moving slowly, but you will be able to maintain your position and stability. In the second half of October, Jupiter, as the Lord of your career, will move into an exalted position in the 5th house. This is highly favorable. It suggests opportunities to implement new ideas, improve your work environment, and even make some positive changes in your career direction. If you are in business, this is the time to carefully implement plans you've been considering. If you are employed, you may receive appreciation for your creativity, intelligence, or problem-solving skills. Mercury, the planet of trade and communication, is not particularly strong this month, so while you can expect decent results, avoid unnecessary risks. New proposals may come your way, but seek advice from experienced people before committing. If you remain thoughtful, October can still bring you steady and slightly better than average professional progress. Financially, the picture is also mixed. The ruler of your 11th house of gains, Saturn, is retrograde in your 1st house. Normally, the connection between the 1st and 11th houses is good for financial prospects. But because Saturn is retrograde, it may cause delays or disruptions. You might find that payments are delayed or that your efforts are not immediately rewarded. Particularly those working in smaller organizations or self-employed fields may feel income is irregular in the first half of the month. Mars, the ruler of your second house of wealth, will be in the 8th house until 27th October, which is also not very supportive. However, because Mars is aspecting the second house from the 8th, it will provide some relief and ensure that you can at least manage expenses. The good news is that in the second half of October, Jupiter moves into an exalted position and aspects your 11th house of gains. This is when your financial situation starts to improve. If you have been waiting for returns, payments, or financial stability, the second half brings more opportunities. While you may not suddenly accumulate large savings, you will at least see more balance between income and expenditure. So again, Pisces, the first half requires patience, while the second half allows cautious optimism. Health is another area that requires attention. In the first half of the month, Jupiter is in your 4th house, which is a neutral placement, neither very favorable nor very harmful. However, Mars remains in the 8th house until 27th October, and Saturn continues to affect your ascendant throughout the month. These influences may create issues related to vitality, digestion, or even stress. Some Pisces natives may face minor health concerns, particularly connected to private or sensitive areas of the body. It is important to remain disciplined in your diet, avoid oily or overly spicy food, and prioritize practices like yoga, meditation, or mindfulness. The Sun, the significator of health, is not supportive this month, so you must consciously take care of yourself. Thankfully, in the second half of October, Jupiter becomes exalted in the 5th house and aspects your ascendant, which brings stronger healing energy. So while the first half may feel draining, the second half allows your health to improve. In relationships, both love and marriage require careful attention. In the first half of the month, Jupiter's influence on the 5th house is positive, allowing love relationships to flow more smoothly. By the second half, Jupiter becomes exalted in the 5th house, which is an excellent placement for romance, harmony, and emotional bonding. If you are single, you may even attract a connection that feels meaningful and pure. However, Venus, the planet of love, is weak this month. Whether in the 6th house until 9th October or debilitated in the 7th house after that, Venus does not provide much direct support. This means you should avoid basing love on physical attraction or material desires. Instead, focus on the purity of love, on respect, and on dignity in your relationships. That is how you will preserve harmony. For married Pisces natives, the picture is a bit more delicate. The 7th house of marriage is influenced by the Sun, Saturn, and a debilitated Venus at different points in the month. These placements can sometimes create tension, misunderstandings, or ego clashes between partners. The key here is tolerance, patience, and the willingness to listen to each other. Do not allow small issues to escalate into bigger arguments. If you can manage this, the month will pass without major disruptions, but if not, unnecessary conflicts may arise. Family life too may bring a blend of challenges and peace. Mars, the ruler of your 2nd house, will sit in the 8th house until 27th October. This can sometimes trigger disputes in the family, particularly around property or inheritance. However, because Mars aspects its own house, It may also help resolve more serious disputes if they arise. Jupiter, the natural significator of family and harmony, is only moderately supportive in the first half, but much more positive in the second. The Sun will also aspect your second house later in the month, which may bring both challenges and opportunities to strengthen family ties. Overall, domestic matters may remain average with some ups and downs, but they are manageable if you focus on patience and harmony. So dear Pisces, October 2025 is clearly a month of two halves. The first half may test your patience, bring delays, and make you feel that progress is slower than you want. But the second half, with Jupiter exalted and Mars moving into a better position, will bring more light, more stability, and more hope. This is a month where the universe is teaching you the value of endurance, of faith, and of waiting for the right time. To balance the energies and align yourself with the cosmos, here are some powerful remedies for you. Donate chana dal, split chickpeas, at a temple. Reduce your salt intake and, if possible, avoid salt altogether on Sundays. Offer service to a red cow, feeding or caring for it with devotion. These small acts of faith and discipline will harmonize the planetary vibrations and help you move through October with more peace and blessings. So Pisces, walk gently through this month. Let the first half teach you patience, and let the second half bring you the rewards of your wisdom. The stars are not against you, they are guiding you, shaping you, and preparing you for something greater. May October 2025 bring you clarity, balance, and divine blessings. Namaste, dear soul family.